Hi, I'm Chilton Webb, and I've been working on a tool that will help you solve some of the most complicated computer programming problems that you will ever encounter. And this will work for any platform, Mac, PC, Linux, and it will work on pretty much any language from JavaScript, Java, ActionScript, C, C#, C++, Objective-C, you name it. Let me show you how it works.
Talon is a visual code mapping tool. It creates a massive 3D version of your code. It's easy to navigate and easy to understand. It follows the logical flow of your code. This is not a dependency list or just the functions in a file. This lets you visually inspect relationships and instantly know how your code actually works, even if the logic spans multiple files and folders. With Talon, you'll immediately know the answers to questions like, why did that number change? Why is my code not being called here? Why did that happen? And what effect will this change have on my product? Talon has a high-level mode. This lets you toggle between showing all functions and seeing only the higher-level functions. This is a great tool for learning someone else's code or remembering how your old code works. Talon can also do the opposite. It can create an inverse logic map, showing you everything in your code at a high level that can eventually call something. This lets you instantly see what systems any given change might affect. Again, this is impossible without a tool like this unless you have a very tiny project. And I have to stress, this is not just a list of functions that call this function. These are higher level functions that eventually call this function. This is not something you can find with a simple search on your project. Talon can also create interlinking maps that show how code executing at different times can affect one another. So you might have one call that sets a particular variable, and you might have another call that uses that particular variable at two very different times in your product. And Talon can find those and create this relationship map. It's kind of ugly, but it's at least navigable. And it's something that you frankly cannot possibly do by just looking at the code. Again, unless you really, really understand how all of your code works.
Taking this a step further, it can also tell you what changes in your source code will affect other parts of your source code. So for example, one minor change in one utility function may affect dozens of other parts of your project in different files and different folders all over the place. Talon instantly shows you that. So here we have on the left side, we have our old file or our old structure or our program, and on the right side we have the new one. And this was a result of changing 3 lines in one piece of code. And we can already see that it's affected several different things, and these are not going to be found in the same file. These are places that are all over the source code, and Talon basically looks at the logic flow between the two and sees what's changed. Yellow would represent something that has changed, that's still there. It's just different than it used to be. Green would represent something that was new. Red represents something that was there before and has been deleted. So in some cases you have new functions mixed in with old ones. In some cases you have changed functions. And in some cases you have no longer existing functions. And the interesting thing here is that this works especially well with SVN and Git and all of the different types of source code repositories. If someone checks in something and you want to know what did they just screw up, this will show you. This will show you everywhere in your code that one minor change, everything is going to be affected by that. So this is extremely useful in conjunction with something like source code control, because you can very easily make one change that's catastrophic to a product, but you won't know it. Or you can make one change that's going to affect something someone else is working on and they won't know it. And the only way they would know it is if they really honestly understood every part of the product and how it all worked together. And very few people can do that, especially on very large projects. Talon shows you that instantly.
So that's Talon. Talon will ship for every major platform and every major language when it's finished. I'm doing this on Indiegogo because at some point I'd like to finish the product. I've been working on it and the algorithms behind it for about 15 years, and now I think it's time. For more information, take a look at the link below, and please share this with any programmers you know, no matter what skill level or language they use. Talon can help almost anyone find bugs faster and understand their code better. Thank you.